I learned about AI agents for you, and I've condensed everything that I've learned in this 20-minute video. I took multiple courses, watched several YouTube videos, and I even tried out a real AI agent that analyzed a recipe and ordered groceries for me. And I even set up my own AI agent myself. This is going to save you hours of research because it was really difficult to actually piece together what AI agents are and find examples of them online. I honestly didn't even realize how big of a deal it was until I saw a real-life demo, and I don't really want to wait until mid-video to show you, so here we go. A portion of this video has been sponsored by Hubspot. So with just any regular AI LLM, something like ChatGPT, you can ask it a question such as, give me a recipe for apple pie, and it'll generate a pretty comprehensive recipe for you. It has all the ingredients and the instructions on how to actually make the pie. Now, with AI agents, it's exponentially different. Not only will it give you the recipe, but if you ask, it'll compare prices for ingredients at different grocery stores, add items to your shopping cart, and place the order for delivery. It actually physically does things for you, just like your own personal Jarvis.
Jarvis, you there?
At your service, sir.
We're going to get into a more detailed demo later, including how to set up your own AI agent. But now that you've actually seen what AI agents do, let's take a step back and talk a little bit more about what they are and how they work. AI agents are programs that perceive their environment, make decisions, and take actions to achieve specific goals. The part that differentiates them from any old AI is that a traditional AI LLM can read and summarize tons of information, answer your questions, and even help you write essays. But an AI agent can act on that information, and you got a sneak peek of that earlier. So they can do things like book flights for you, send a confirmation email, and set up notifications to remind you to check in for your flight. The making decisions and acting parts are the parts that are really important here. So next up is talking about agentic versus non-agentic workflows. So let's first go over an example of a non-agentic workflow without AI. This is typically a workflow that we see traditionally in real life using human verification and behavior. So let's say we want to open up a bank account. First, the user might visit the bank website, they'll fill out the application manually, they'll upload documents like ID or proof of address, and then they'll wait for human verification and approval. Then later, you'll receive the email confirmation that your bank account has been set up. So this is just a traditional non-agentic workflow without any use of AI. Now, there are also non-agentic workflows that do use AI. And what that might look like is an AI could help scan documents to extract text, but a human might review them. Also, AI could suggest different account types based on the user's income and needs. But again, the user must choose at the end of the day. Now, if we go into a fully agentic workflow, this is a multi-agent workflow. AI agents are going to take care of the entire process and completely replace human behavior. So, for example, a user may ask the AI agent that they want to open up a new bank account. Then the agent will gather required info, they'll ask for an ID and personal details, the agent will verify documents using AI-powered OCR and facial recognition, and then the agent will submit the application to the bank system and send real-time updates until the account is open. So you can see the difference between a traditional process, a non-agentic workflow assisted with AI, and a completely autonomous agentic workflow. So going into the demo that you guys saw earlier, that was actually OpenAI's product Operator. Now it's behind a paywall of $200, so it's kind of expensive, but that's why I'm going to have a more detailed demo of it today for you guys. Okay, so let's dive into this example. Okay, so I've just copy and pasted the prompt that we did earlier, which is looking for ingredients for apple pie and asking Operator to actually order it for us. So here it brings up Operator's browser, and what happens is it actually opens up a browser in the cloud and you can watch the entire browsing process, which is really cool. On the left-hand side, you can kind of see what actions it's taking. So you can see that it's searching all recipes for apple pie ingredients because that's the first step. It has to analyze what ingredients are in this apple pie before it starts shopping for those ingredients. So it's brought up a recipe on all recipes and it's just looking through that right now. So now it's chosen Cub and it's going to look at ingredients there. So here it's looking for pie crust for the apple pie, and now it's looking for apples, because of course you need apples for your apple pie. And on the left, you can see that it's adding 8 Granny Smith apples to the cart. But here we run into a problem where we have to sign in to continue. So we're going to go ahead and prompt Operator to go look at Target instead of Cub, so we don't have to sign in to start adding ingredients to our cart. So now it's gone to Target to go look at ingredients there. So now it's just looking at Target, and you can see on the left-hand side that it's adding the Pillsbury pie crust to the cart. So now we have something added to our cart as well. Now it's looking for apples. Now in the ingredients, it actually called for Granny Smith apples, and it's having trouble finding the Granny Smith apples, even though it's scrolling through, and you can see at the bottom, the Granny Smith apples are right there. So of course, there are problems with this, and in a real world scenario, I would just mention, the Granny Smith apples are down, keep scrolling, but what it ends up doing is it just types in Granny Smith apples into the search because it can't figure out how to find them. Okay, so now it's searched for the Granny Smith apples and it's actually found them, so it's going to pick the cheapest one and then add it to our cart. So here you can see that it's trying to add it to the cart. And right now it's successful because we don't have to sign in or anything. Usually with these sorts of things, you'll have to give it your sign-in information and of course your credit card information, which it won't save the state of that credit card information unless you ask it to. I would highly recommend not asking it to, but the whole point of this demo is to show that it can find the ingredients, choose them, add them to your cart, and check out. So now that we've seen a demo, I want to show you what an AI agent diagram looks like behind the scenes. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this really cool AI agent playbook that Hubspot has created. AI agents are a fairly new concept, and as I said earlier, it's not easy to find information on them, especially for a beginner. This guide goes over a breakdown of things like what AI agents are and how they work, how to get started with AI agents, and even some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. It also gives you a foundation for understanding the difference between any old chatbot and a real AI agent. For example, as shown here, AI agents won't just summarize information for you. It'll actually do the thing. Here, the guide shows that if you wanted to find your top performing blog posts and draft social media updates for them, the AI agent would connect to an analytics API, analyze top posts, draft social media posts, and even schedule the posts for you. My favorite section is actually setting up an AI agent. As important as the theory behind it is, it won't matter if you don't take action to create an agent for yourself. This guide sets up a framework to follow so you can start creating these agents on your own. It even goes into detail about low precision versus high precision task frameworks and the common pitfalls that you should definitely avoid. At the very end, it even reflects on the relationship between AI and humans. This 40-page guide is filled with golden nuggets, and it's completely free. I've linked the HubSpot guide in the description below, so you'll definitely want to check it out. Okay, so back to the video. Okay, so the demo is pretty cool, but let's dive into what's happening behind the scenes. Now, this diagram shows AI agents actually interacting with each other to completely replace typical human behavior in a workflow. This is called a multi-agent framework, similar to what we saw happening in Operator. Now, I watched Tina Huang's YouTube video on AI agents, and she had a lot of really cool golden nuggets, and she recommended some solid courses, one of which was a course on multi-agent architecture by Crew AI, so I'd highly recommend checking that out if you want a more in-depth analysis on this. But otherwise, let's take a look at this example of a multi-agent setup. So here we can imagine the user is trying to onboard to a new bank and set up their first bank. Kind of like the example we talked about before in the agentic versus non-agentic workflow. So here you can see a conversable agent, and a conversable agent is used to facilitate interactions based on predefined dialogue patterns. So think of something like an onboarding chatbot. The user might be asked to provide information such as their full name, their address, and type of account. And you can see here in the default system message that we've actually defined the role for this AI agent. You are a helpful AI assistant in the following cases, XYZ. Now, the assistant agent is a task-oriented agent, and they're both interacting with each other. They do things like provide expertise or perform actions based on user requests. This means that they can troubleshoot any issues for you, like maybe your address doesn't show up as a valid address, or they can even complete the bank account setup process for you. Now, there's another type of agent, and it's called the user proxy agent in this framework. And they're exactly what they sound like. They act as intermediaries between the user and the system. So they relay user inputs to the appropriate agents and return responses, ensuring smooth communication across different agents. So setting something like this up in AutoGen isn't too hard either. These agents are already predefined. So an example of the agent setup might look something like this. And I actually got this code from a deep learning course that I was taking, and I've linked that course in the description below as well. Tina Huang recommended this too. So here you can look at the code. In AutoGen, these AI agents have actually already been created, so it's as easy as just defining the class variable. It's just a really quick example of how to set up an AI agent in code using AutoGen. So now we're going to look at how to actually set up an AI agent in real life. So I actually got this example from Tina Huang's YouTube channel. It's a product called N8N. Now, of course, if you want the AI agent to actually do something, you're going to have to give it access to some of the platforms that you use. So we're going to actually look at an example that I made, and it looks pretty simple, the setup. Here we just have a module for chat messages. So we can actually talk to the AI agent, and this AI agent is connected to an OpenAI model. So you can add different models that you want it to interact with, different types of memory. So for example, if you want it to save the state of your messages, you would add a certain memory. And then these are what connectors I've added. So Gmail, and I've specifically given it the opportunity to send messages, and then Google Calendar, which I can create specific events using Google Calendar. So let's just run this to show you what it looks like, and then we can go into specifics on how I actually set this up. So we can just open up the chat here. I'm going to say hello. So it's asking me, how can I assist you today? And okay, so I'd like to send a message to at gmail.com. And now it's asking, what would you like the subject and the message of the email to be? So I'll just say, hello, I'd like to go hiking with you this weekend. And now it says the message has been sent at gmail.com. So he's actually over there. Let's go check and see if he got the message. Hello.
Hello.
We are wondering if you received a certain email just now.
I just did
Okay.
the hiking invitation.
And what does it say?
Hello, I'd like to go hiking with you this weekend.
Oh, wait, let's see. Oh, look at that. Well, there you have it. It worked. Okay, so for those of you that stuck around for the demo of the AI agent, now I'm going to go ahead and actually show you how I created that AI agent. So we can actually create a new project. So we'll create a new workflow and we'll just put it in our personal folder. Okay, so we'll add a first step, and this will be the chat. And we don't really need to set up any parameters or settings right now. So now we're going to add an AI agent to it. Here, for example, with the agent, we could have a tools agent. There's a conversational agent. They also have an OpenAI functions agent, a plan and execute. There's a ton of different types of agent. We're just going to work with the tools agent. We don't need to change this connected chat trigger node. This should be okay. And we can go ahead and just get started with adding our chat model, our memory, and then our first tool. So the chat model that we're going to use today is probably OpenAI's chat model. Yeah, and we're just going to use some free OpenAI credits. And because I'm using the free credits, I think I only have access to, like GPT-4o mini. We're not going to go ahead and set this, but you can set frequency penalty, maximum number of tokens, all of that stuff. So we're just going to keep that as it is. There's a ton of different memory allocations that you can use. So I'm just going to go with their easiest option. It stores it in the N8N memory, which is probably not very big, but no credentials are required. If you have credentials for any of these other types of memory, then I would just use one of those. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And now comes the fun part. I'm going to add a tool. Okay, so I'm going to search for Gmail tool. I have my Gmail account, and I've already created this OAuth 2 API connection. You can create a new credential here. So if you click on new credential, you can sign in with Google, and then it'll give you the ability to sign in, and then you can say what you want it to access. So that's pretty cool. But again, I've already added my connection string. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead with this one. Okay, so tool description, we'll set it automatically. Resource is a message, and the operation. So if you want to do several different things with Gmail, for example, you can't just add like an add all operation. You have to specify each operation, and this is probably for security purposes. So for example, if you want to create a tool to send an email, I can click on send, but I can't add more operations. If I want to do like a get, if I want to get one email, or if I want to get many emails, or mark emails as read, or if I want to reply, or if I want to delete, I'm going to have to add like a separate tool for every single operation that I want to do. So just keep that in mind. For now, we're adding send because that's what I was showing you earlier. In the to, like, you're still going to have to, again, specify the contact that you're sending to, but I'm just going to use the model to fill in this. So if you look at it, it's just from AI to string, and that's fine. So last time, if you saw when I made that hiking email, it actually created a subject for me. Subject, yep, that's also going to be automatically defined. Message will be automatically defined if I don't specify it. Okay, cool. So now we have everything set up. Let's try this again and make sure that it works. So open the chat and I'll just reset this chat. Say hello. Okay, hello, how can I assist you? Can I send an email to... Let's see if that works. Your email has been successfully sent with a message, hi, here's the second email. If you need anything else, feel free to ask. So yeah, it worked, I think. Did it work? Did you get a second email, Manos? Nice, he gave me the thumbs up. So yeah, that's pretty much all you have to do to set up your own AI agent. And again, there's so many options for different tools. There's different LLM models that you can use, and you don't even need to use a chat. You can actually use voice recognition as well. There's a lot of different triggers that you can look at. So I'd highly recommend using this tool. You can do a 14-day trial. Actually, if you can see, I'm still on this 14-day trial. Check it out. So we're going to go over the core components of an AI agent. An AI agent consists of the following. It has a perception module, which it gathers input from the user or environment. So for example, it might listen to voice commands, read documents, or scan web data. It also has a memory and knowledge-based module, which just means that it stores past interactions and facts. An example of this is it remembers user preferences and it recalls conversation history. Now, it also has reasoning and decision-making modules, which are different than AI LLMs. This is where things get really interesting. So it decides what to do next. That's basically all it means. For example, it might choose the best flight for you or figure out how to debug code. It also uses an action execution module, which basically means it interacts with external tools or systems. It can book a hotel, deploy a website, send emails, things like that. And then it has a feedback loop, so it just continues the process and it learns from previous actions. So let's break down each module, because I want to go in depth as to what exactly these AI agents are doing. So let's start with the perception module. The perception module is responsible for gathering and interpreting raw sensory data from the environment. It typically includes things like image recognition, speech processing, natural language understanding, and sensor fusion, depending on the AI system. It's actually pretty similar to just normal AI input. Now, the cool thing is the memory and knowledge base. This also includes saving the state of the conversation or the process. Now, again, kind of similar to normal AI, but when you look at the specifics, they're actually quite different. So this is how memory works in normal AI versus AI agents. So there's different types of memories. You have your short-term memory, your long-term memory, your episodic memory, and your semantic memory. Now, you can pause the video and take a look at all of these points. I think it's really important to differentiate between an AI and an AI agent. So next up is the decision-making process. Now, decision-making isn't something that regular AI would really do for you. It might make assumptions and give you information, but you still have to make the decision at the end of the day. AI agents, however, can make those decisions, and here's how. So AI agents actively choose and execute the best action based on goals, feedback, and past experiences. So they have different aspects like autonomy, decision strategy, risk assessment, feedback integration, goal optimizations. Now, you can pause the video and take a look at all of these points. I won't go into all of these points in detail because I actually want to focus more on the technical approaches to decision making. I think that's more important to understand. So there are a couple of different technical approaches, namely rule-based systems, machine learning models, probabilistic reasoning, optimization algorithms, and then also we'll go over an example quick. So with rule-based systems, a normal AI uses predefined rules to map input to output, while AI agents, they use if and then logic, but also modify rules dynamically based on the experience with the user. Now with machine learning models, normal AI uses supervised learning to classify and predict based on input data, whereas an AI agent uses reinforcement learning to make sequential decisions based on rewards. And lastly, we'll kind of go over probabilistic reasoning. So with normal AI, they compute likelihood, like the Bayesian networks, but they don't act on those. Whereas an AI agent uses Markov decision processes to weigh risks and optimize long-term rewards. So there's a lot of technical things going in the decision-making process, and there's really cool videos that I've linked as well if you want to check these out in detail. So the next module is the action execution module, the part where it's physically doing something for you, like putting things in a shopping cart and checking out. This part of the process is also something normal AI won't do for you. AI agents will execute on the decision-making process. They'll set up the bank account or call for assistance if they come to the conclusion that you need it. So more aspects to this are the control mechanism, state awareness, actuation, and real-time adjustment. So with normal AI, when it comes to the control mechanism, these are the outputs predictions that require human intervention, whereas with AI agents, they use control algorithms like PID or MPC to autonomously execute those decisions. With state awareness, a normal AI processes input but doesn't track the system state, whereas AI agent maintains internal state, so they track past actions and environmental changes, which is really important for that memory and knowledge base as well. So again, you can pause the video and kind of read more about the technical approaches to that action execution module, but these are all really important and they very much differ from just normal AI LLMs. So yeah, that's pretty much it for our AI agent video. I hope you guys learned a lot just from the fundamentals, what they're used for, the practical uses, as well as how to set up your own AI agent. AI agents are very, very powerful, and I'm excited to learn more. There's so much more that I think we can do with them that we just haven't really tapped into yet. It's also very scary, I know, because of the tumultuous job market with computer science and software engineering. This just takes it to a different level, right? We had AI, different LLMs that kind of surpassed our expectations, but now we have AI agents that can actually make decisions and execute actions for us. And if you want to see another AI agent video where I go fully in depth with making a more complex AI agent, let me know, because you can actually use these AI agents to run a business for you without having to do much work to maintain it after you've created one. So let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see, and I think it'll be pretty exciting to set up as well. So see you guys next time. Bye.